Hello and welcome to this demonstration video for WordWall 2.0. WordWall is an interface for interactive whiteboards and data projectors with which teachers can easily create classroom activities in just a few minutes. Like most presentation tools, it has pens, highlighters, you can draw shapes, and you can create and annotate slides. You can pretty much use your electronic whiteboard just like an old-fashioned whiteboard. However, WordWall isn't a PowerPoint clone. It's especially designed for the school classroom, placing educational resources at teachers' fingertips and providing a tactile interface that focuses on learning rather than lecturing. But creating a slide in WordWall is easy too. Let me show you how. First of all, we'll need to create a blank page, and then I'm going to use the Add Tile tool to draw a title tile across the top of our slide here, like so. Now I'm just going to get rid of the ribbon at the top here, just so we can see the page in full. And then I need to type in our title. So I paste in Ernest Rutherford, a famous physicist. And now I need to search for some images. So the images bank goes and looks on Flickr and Yahoo Images and Google Images. And I can take that and drag it onto my page and then enlarge it into position on the left hand side of my slide, like so. Now I want some biographical information on the right hand side of the slide. So I'm going to create another tile here, but this is a transparent tile as a kind of text box container for our information. And then going to the text bank, I can search the encyclopedia database for information on Ernest Rutherford, and then I take a short abstract and drag that onto the right hand side. Now I can turn this from a static activity into actually an interactive starter for my class by selecting the title bar, going and replacing it with question marks like so. Then all I have to do is hide the biographical text, and there is our starter question. Aside from creating your own slides, you also have access to the WordWall wizards, which are 19 kind of templates or exercises which fulfill the most common classroom needs. Now, one of these is a seating plan, and this is probably one of the most popular with our users. What it requires you to do is draw a map of your classroom in this seating plan on the right hand side, like so. So I'm going to draw a couple of tables in here. And perhaps also I can select a different coloured blob for the teacher's desk at the front. And then I can type in the names of my students on the left hand side, or I can import them from a word list or an Excel spreadsheet like so. But I'll just type a few in there, and then I can click on OK to create our classroom. And then I can take our various students, and using the select tool I can drag them into various positions at their desks like so. Having done that, I can use a spinner, which is one of the purple icons on the bottom toolbar, to select one of these students at random, like a kind of fickle finger of fate, to perform a particular task, or perhaps used in conjunction with another exercise to answer a question. I can also use a swapper to move them around if I want them to change seats. The mark tool allows me to flip over some of the participants to exclude them, say, from the spinner, like so. Another of the WordWall wizards is the category quiz. This allows you to create a grid of words, behind which, when the tiles are marked, reveals a particular category. To illustrate this, I can show you the default categories are true and false, but we can replace those, say, with acid, alkali, and neutral, as we're doing here. And then in the columns below, you can type, let's pick various household items that correspond to these three different categories. Now, we don't have to have an equal number for each column, but as you will see, it's useful to actually have an even number of items, just in terms of kind of how the WordWall looks. So they can be in two columns on the preview. You also have the choice as to whether the category name is revealed together with the front text or not, using the radio buttons there. But we've got our list typed in here, so that's 6. As you can see, that looks slightly more aesthetically pleasing, but we'll put water in as well, and maybe another one in the alkali column, like so, just to even them up. And then we click on OK to create this, and using the mark tool, we can then click on these to reveal the category to which they belong, and they're colour coded as well. So we could ask students to come up to the board and identify the different categories. I can then press mark all to flip them back over. Finally, I'd like to introduce you to another of the WordWall wizards, which is the sentence maker. Now this is very quick, but I suppose it has that in common with all of the WordWall wizards, because if you were to create these sorts of exercises in, I know, PowerPoint or Promethean Active Studio or Smart Notebook, it'd be incredibly laborious drawing out all the buttons. One of the great things about WordWall is that teachers can create activities as they walk into a classroom. Everything is designed to be made in a minute or so. Now the way that this works is I type in a sentence, so here I'm typing in the beginning of A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, and it takes my sentence and divides the words up into word tiles, as you can see here. And then I can take these, I could mark them all, and I could reveal, say, a few words as a starter, and I could say to my class, does anyone recognise the sentence? Does anyone know what the other words could be? Or I could flip them all back over again, and I could take the beginning of it, jumble it up, and then ask a student to come up to the board and to place them back into position. Hopefully that's given you a sense of how the WordWall wizards work and how easy it is to create activities in this program. Watch the next video to find out about how WordWall can help you collaborate with teachers all over the world. Until next time, goodbye.